A quiet financial document was never supposed to become the spark that ignited one of the most whispered about scandals surrounding Meghan Markle. Yet that is exactly what happened the moment a series of alleged banking records began circulating through the private inboxes of royal watchers, entertainment journalists, and a handful of Hollywood insiders who suddenly realized that the elegant Paris trip everyone assumed was just another glamorous appearance might have been quietly funded by someone far more powerful than anyone expected. Because according to those leaked documents that no official authority has publicly confirmed but which insiders claim are very real, the luxury hotel suites, the chauffeured cars gliding through the Paris night, and even the discreet security arrangements surrounding Meghan's visit were allegedly paid for not by Meghan herself, not by a fashion house, not even by a routine promotional sponsor, but by a well-known Hollywood producer whose name carries enormous influence in the entertainment industry. And the moment that rumor began spreading, the quiet sophistication of that Paris visit transformed into something far more explosive. It started with a single line on what appeared to be a wire transfer summary, a payment large enough to make even seasoned accountants pause. The transaction was allegedly processed through a Los Angeles financial institution and directed toward a luxury hospitality group that manages several high-profile Parisian hotels favored by celebrities, diplomats, and royalty alike. At first, the document looked ordinary, but the attached notes told a very different story, because beside the payment description were words that instantly raised eyebrows among the few people who saw the file before it leaked wider. The note reportedly referenced a private guest arrangement connected to Meghan Markle's Paris stay, and suddenly a visit that once seemed like a simple celebrity trip began to look like something far more complicated. Within hours of those whispers beginning, Hollywood agents started quietly making calls. Publicists who normally ignore gossip suddenly wanted to know who had seen the documents and where they came from, because the alleged financier was not just any entertainment figure. According to the circulating rumor, the payment was linked to a producer known for massive streaming deals, award-winning projects, and connections that stretched from Los Angeles studios all the way to European luxury brands. The kind of person who rarely appears in public drama, yet somehow influences enormous decisions behind closed doors. And if those documents were real, it meant that Meghan Markle's trip to Paris might have been connected to something much larger than a fashionable getaway. Observers began revisiting the timeline of that trip with fresh curiosity, because when Meghan arrived in Paris, everything about the visit felt unusually polished. The hotel suite was reportedly one of the most exclusive accommodations available, a place where heads of state and film legends have quietly stayed. The cars waiting outside were not the usual ride services, but luxury vehicles arranged through a concierge service that specializes in high-profile clients. Even the security team accompanying the visit seemed more elaborate than what casual travel would require. At the time, many assumed these details were simply the perks of celebrity status, but after the alleged banking documents surfaced, those same details began to look suspiciously coordinated. Then another whisper emerged. A source claiming connections to the Paris hospitality industry reportedly hinted that the booking for Meghan's suite had been finalized weeks before her arrival and paid in full through a corporate account linked to an American entertainment company. No official receipt has ever been publicly verified, yet insiders insist that the financial trail points toward that same Hollywood producer whose name is now circulating across gossip forums and private media chats. And suddenly, the question no one had asked before became impossible to ignore. Why would a powerful producer quietly finance a luxury Paris trip for Meghan Markle? Some speculate the answer lies in business. For months, rumors have floated through entertainment circles about potential projects tied to Meghan's expanding media ambitions. Documentaries, lifestyle productions, scripted series inspired by royal experiences. The possibilities have been endlessly debated by streaming executives who understand that controversy often sells better than calm narratives. If the Paris visit was connected to early negotiations for a new production deal, then covering travel expenses might simply have been a strategic investment. After all, in Hollywood, the line between hospitality and business development is often blurred beyond recognition. But the speculation does not end there, because another version of the rumor suggests something far more personal behind the alleged payment. Some gossip insiders believe the producer may have been attempting to secure Meghan's participation in a secretive creative venture that required absolute discretion. A film project, perhaps, a documentary series, or even a high-profile collaboration with European fashion houses that prefer negotiations to happen away from the relentless cameras of Los Angeles. If that theory is correct, then the Paris trip may have been less about leisure and more about carefully staged meetings hidden behind the elegance of a luxury hotel stay. Yet, what truly ignited the gossip world was not not simply the existence of the alleged documents, but the reaction that followed their quiet circulation. Because according to individuals who claim to have seen Meghan shortly after the rumors began spreading online, she was reportedly stunned by the sudden attention surrounding the financial questions. Friends allegedly insisted that the trip had been misunderstood and that many celebrity visits involved third-party hospitality arrangements. Still, the intensity of the speculation quickly escalated beyond ordinary celebrity gossip. Royal commentators, always eager to connect modern headlines with palace history, began asking whether this controversy might reopen old debates about the Sussex brand and its relationship with powerful Hollywood allies. Critics argued that the optics of a secret financial sponsor could reinforce long-standing narratives about influence and image management. Supporters countered that successful figures often collaborate with wealthy backers and that focusing on a single travel payment was little more than an attempt to manufacture scandal. Meanwhile, the alleged producer at the center of the rumor has remained silent. No denial, no confirmation, just the kind of strategic quiet that often fuels speculation even further. In Hollywood, silence can mean many things. Sometimes it signals legal caution, sometimes it indicates that negotiations are still unfolding behind closed doors, and sometimes it simply reflects a decision to let public attention fade on its own. But in this case, the silence only deepened the intrigue, because the more analysts examined the story, the more questions appeared. If the producer truly funded the trip, what exactly did they expect in return? Was it a professional partnership, a future project announcement waiting for the right moment, or something even more complex involving cross-industry alliances between media companies and luxury fashion brands eager to capitalize on Meghan's global recognition? By the time the rumor reached the louder corners of social media, the narrative had already evolved into something far bigger than a simple travel mystery. Threads appeared dissecting every detail of the Paris visit. Screenshots of supposed bank statements circulated alongside speculative timelines. Amateur investigators claimed to identify matching transaction codes, while others insisted the documents were fabricated entirely. The truth remained hidden somewhere behind layers of rumor, interpretation, and strategic silence. Yet the most intriguing detail of all emerged from a quiet observation made by a longtime entertainment insider who had watched the situation unfold from the beginning. According to this source, the alleged payment might only be the first piece of a far larger financial puzzle involving multiple entertainment figures and potential projects still waiting to be announced. If that claim holds even a hint of truth, then the Paris trip could represent the opening chapter of a much bigger story, one that has not yet fully surfaced. And as the speculation continues swirling between Hollywood boardrooms, royal commentary panels, and the endless echo chambers of social media, one unsettling question refuses to disappear. Was the Paris visit simply a luxurious getaway amplified by gossip, or did those leaked banking documents accidentally reveal a hidden alliance between Meghan Markle and one of Hollywood's most influential power players? But the deeper people dug into the timeline of Meghan Markle's Paris visit, the stranger the entire story began to look, because the alleged banking documents were only the first ripple in what quickly turned into a much larger wave of speculation swirling across both Hollywood and royal circles. And once the possibility emerged that a powerful Hollywood producer might have quietly financed the entire trip, attention immediately shifted towards something even more intriguing. What exactly happened in Paris during those days behind the polished doors of that luxury hotel? Because Paris, despite its glittering public image, has always been a city where the most consequential meetings often happen far away from cameras. Private dining rooms, discreet hotel suites, quiet late-night conversations between powerful figures who prefer their negotiations to remain invisible until the moment a deal is announced. And according to whispers that began circulating among fashion insiders and entertainment agents, Meghan's stay may have included exactly those kinds of discreet encounters. Sources within European fashion circles began quietly mentioning that several high-level meetings allegedly took place during the same week Meghan was in the city. One rumor suggested a closed-door discussion with executives connected to a luxury brand that had previously been exploring celebrity partnerships. Another whispered that a small private dinner had been arranged involving two streaming industry figures who had arrived in Paris only hours before Meghan's appearance at a fashionable evening event. No official guest lists have ever confirmed these gatherings, yet the timing of several private jet arrivals recorded at Paris area airports during those same days fueled even more curiosity. And suddenly, the leaked banking documents started to look less like a random random financial anomaly and more like the first visible piece of a carefully orchestrated arrangement. Because in Hollywood, funding a luxury trip for a potential collaborator is not unheard of. Producers frequently cover travel expenses when discussions involve major projects or confidential negotiations. But what made this situation explosive was the identity of the alleged sponsor and the enormous public fascination surrounding Meghan Markle herself. Every move connected to her tends to attract attention, and when that attention intersects with secret financial trails, the result is almost guaranteed to become headline fuel. Then another intriguing detail surfaced. A freelance journalist based in Paris reportedly noticed something unusual about the booking arrangement connected to Meghan's hotel suite. According to the journalist's claim, the reservation had been processed through an entertainment industry concierge service rather than through Meghan's known representatives. These concierge services are typically used by studios and production companies when arranging travel for actors or high-profile guests during negotiations or promotional planning. And if that observation was accurate, it meant that Meghan's stay might have been coordinated not by her own team, but by someone connected to the entertainment world. That possibility immediately reignited speculation about the alleged Hollywood producer, whose name had already begun circulating in whispers across the industry. Because this particular producer, according to those familiar with his career, has a reputation for recognizing opportunity before anyone else sees it. He has reportedly launched careers, revived struggling projects, and orchestrated deals that seemed impossible until they suddenly appeared fully formed. And if he truly financed Meghan's Paris visit, some insiders believe the reason could be tied to a massive entertainment venture still hidden from public view. Was that mysterious bank transfer simply a coincidence caught in the glare of internet speculation? Or did those leaked documents accidentally expose the hidden first move of a much bigger Hollywood deal still waiting for its dramatic unveiling? Because if the whispers circulating through Los Angeles studios and Paris fashion circles are even partially accurate, the real story behind Meghan Markle's Paris trip may not have fully surfaced yet. And when it finally does, the world might realize that the most explosive chapter of this controversy was only just beginning.